I wish you all a happy 4th of July. Make the most of it, guys. Now, when it comes to classic American cars, we get two types of classic American cars that draw people's attention. Actually, three types, guys. You have those massive 4x4s. Then you also have the nice land yachts from Cadillac, guys, or Lincoln. The fancy land yachts from the 1950s, the 1960s, and the 1970s. But then we have the third classic American cars, which just about everybody in this world loves a lot. The muscle cars, the Ford Mustang, the Chevrolet Camaro. But then there's a cousin, well, should I say a relative, a sibling of the Chevrolet Camaro. I introduce you all to the Pontiac Trans Am Firebird. Now, when it comes to American cars of the 1970s, they were always perceived as being ahead of time. So in the sense, they always had the latest technology, they always had the looks, they always had the power, and most of all, they always had the desirability, and they were starred pretty often in Hollywood movies. I had a good look at plenty of cars from the 1970s, guys, and I have to say that out of all the cars from the 1970s, this Pontiac Trans Am has to be one of the most in your face. You get a 6.6 V8 engine, guys. Very ideal for cruising, and also very, very American, guys. The Chevrolet Camaro and the Pontiac Trans Am Firebird always had an arrow-like shape for their cars. In fact, this applied to majority of General Motor vehicles, particularly from Chevrolet and Pontiac, guys. They always had this arrow-like shape. Now, Pontiac adapted this sort of front for the rest of their, well, for majority of their models in the years to come since the 1979. So it's really interesting. I even saw this on their minivan, guys. Now, the twin headlights was very typical for General Motors. Now, when it comes to the design like this must have been very typical for American 70s, but I know Jeep still continues this tradition. Well, at least they used to. I mean, whenever I see this, I think particularly of Jeep. Look at how thick the tires are. It's like, wow. I don't know if it's just me, but it looked like it was built for the beaches, for California or something. We just take a moment and admire this rear. It looks awesome. Continuous rear reflectors, I think. Wow. Now they also had this concept. I know Porsche had this going on, but it's like it was very conspicuous with Porsche. But with the Trans Am, I never knew this before. And this is your fuel cap right here. Wow. I think with the Chevy Camaro, they also had the same concept of having it right in the middle of the back. Not sure, but your license plates would go right here. We should check out the interior, guys, but before doing so, make no mistakes, this door has to be one of the heaviest, and I mean literally heaviest. We just take a moment and admire how American the door sounds whenever you open and close it. Check this out. The metallic sound. I just love it, guys. The exciting part, time to check out the interior of the Pontiac Trans Am. The seat is super comfortable, it's really nice, but the thing is, it's not very, it's like, it's got this really aggressive style to it, guys, especially the front. Look at the engine. It's like they really showed pride in their engine, though, the Americans. They really have this big rig interior style to them. That is why they were really good cruisers. And when I say big rig style, it means the way the gauges are laid out and everything, and the way this the hood stands out, it kind of makes me think of the American trucks. The interior of the Pontiac Trans Am, guys. The steering wheel kind of reminds me of what I've seen in the Chevrolet Camaro. It's quite interesting. Everything's at my reach. It's very spacious, and I'm saying this as a part of a surprise because most cars were very cramped in the interior. And automatic transmissions, the Americans were just very good with this technology. You even get a bit of air conditioning, guys. What? Heater defrost? I think the heater defrost would make sense because I see this little tube onto the window. You see this little thing? I think this was supposed to be the window defrost. But guys, they even had air conditioning right here, and look at what I get down here, right next to my knee. There's another air conditioning right there. And then this is supposed to be for your smoking, for your cigarettes. There's an ashtray right here, and the radio system right here. No cup holders, but you do get automated rear windows. Wow. It's really, really cool. But what I'm really impressed with would be the heater or the window defrosters. That's amazing. I mean, if these were window defrosters, that is like, wow. In the 70s, it was very rare to have these. Would you like my opinion of this Pontiac Trans Am Firebird? I love it so much, guys. You see, when it comes to cars from the 1970s, I was always a big fan of the Citroen SM, but when it comes to the way their engines are, the layout of things, in the mechanical aspects of things, the French car manufacturers are just terrible. They're not reliable. But when it comes to the Americans, they were good at everything. They were like a bit of everything. They were as desirable as American movies. They were as desirable as American music. The American dream, everyone. This car symbolizes the American dream. It's everything you've ever wanted. Just the only problem would be the fuel consumption, all right? But hey, let's face it, this was from an era where fuel was as cheap as water. And also, it is very desirable compared to the likes of the Ford Mustang. I'm going to make a confession, guys, and it's a horrible one. I was never a fan of the Ford Mustang, and I was never a fan of the Chevrolet Camaro. The Ford Mustang looked boring, in my opinion, and the Chevrolet Camaro, it just... There's a design to it that I just didn't like. But there's something about this Pontiac Trans Am that looks just too good. I loved it. Rear design and the front design and its side view, guys. Look at it. Just look at it from this angle. I just love this particular design. This Pontiac Trans Am has to be one of the best vehicles General Motors has ever built, and I think this is one of the best things ever because it's true. Sure, it may be gone. Sure, it may be extinct, but I'm very sure that in the future, this could be an inspiration for an electric car. And General Motors, please take a look at this because you might want to release an electric car as soon as possible that resembles this bad boy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos that are on the run.